Today we're going to talk about the power of refinement. Before we talk about the power of refinement, I want you to go down and hit the subscribe button. Hit the subscribe button, please. And don't forget to select the like when you finish watching this video. If you were to go into a refinery and you were to take a lump of gold, a bar of gold, and you were to place it and melt it down, what you will find happening is that as it melts down into a liquid, all of the impurities will come to the surface. All you call that slag. And you have to scoop that off, and what you have behind is pure solid gold. It's amazing in life because life will take us through circumstances. Life will take us through tough spots, and all what that is, it's refining us. It is molding us. It is shaping us. We might feel a lot of times that we're being buried, but truly we're being planted. People might make us feel like we're washed up and we are not good for anything, or we might lose a job or lose a circumstance or lose a situation, lost in a relationship, lost in life. You feel like you're completely lost, but at that point, you're truly being buried. That you think you're being buried, but truly you're being planted. At that point, if you realize the potential that's inside of you, at that point you realize what's deep down inside of you, you start growing and nurturing into the person that you desire to be. You see, all of a sudden, when you realize that you can just work on yourself and become 1% better than you were the day before, all of a sudden you start rising every day to greatness. You start rising every day to the point where you start growing and growing consistently. And out of that despair, out of that gloom, out of that dark spot, you are able to emerge, you're able to soar with the eagles. You're able to rise up, and instead of crawling around underground like with the caterpillars, you're able to soar in the sky with the butterflies. You see, life will beat you down. But as life beats you down, you want to always take the opportunity to grow yourself every day. Don't look to the left nor look to the right. Keep your eyes fixed upon your Creator and keep moving forward. People will always speak out of their level of understanding. People will always speak out of the level of growth. People will always speak out of their level of existence. If they have a very small mind, they're going to speak small-minded. If they cannot see the vision of something big, because all what they could see is something small, so they will constantly speak out of that point of small-mindedness. So do not let somebody with a small mind interrupt what's happening as you're being refound. Don't let somebody with a small mind squish your dreams and your goals. Don't let somebody with a small mind come in the way of where you're going. Always remember, as you grow and as you nurture yourself, you are being become and being refound and being changed and transformed into something great. You see, there's a lot of times people can't understand the value of things because they can't see. You see, somebody who does not understand the value of something will look at it in a diminished manner. You see, somebody who truly doesn't understand the power of a chainsaw will always choose a hammer. Somebody, because they will choose a hammer because a hammer is cheaper. But you see, it takes longer to cut a tree down with a hammer than it does with a chainsaw. So only somebody that understands value will see value. And people are not seeing value in you because they do not understand value. So don't let their small-mindedness destroy the value that's in you. Do not diminish your value to fit the mindset of somebody who sees the value of a hammer instead of seeing the value of a chainsaw. You see, you could cut a tree down with a hammer, but it will take you quite a while to keep, and all the effort and the thrust that you will have to put into it to cut a tree down with a hammer, it will take you so long. Whereas if you use a chainsaw, you'll be able to swipe that tree down in little or no time. So value You see, as you are succeeding, what you're doing, you're creating value, and people are paying you for your value. People are rewarding your value, and if they cannot see your value, never diminish that. Never change yourself to meet someone else's expectation. Always say, come up here. Come up here. If they cannot see your value, move on. Shake the dust off your feet and keep moving on. So don't be mad or don't be angry with people when they can't see the value in you. Don't be angry with people when they can't see your dreams or see where you're going, because they can't see their mindset, the way they think. They have a poverty mindset, and somebody who cannot appreciate or sees, somebody who sees $300 as a lot of money cannot make 100,000. They cannot even conceive it. So you see, the fundamental thing is, it's all about mindset. So don't let a small-minded person ruin where God's taking you. You see, at times in life, you will feel like Jonah felt in the belly of the whale. He was alone in the belly of the whale, pondering all of his mistakes, pondering what he should have done, pondering what he needs to do. And sometimes in life, you will feel alone. You will feel like you're in the belly of a whale, and you have to realize that you have to stick to your ground. You have to realize you have to stick to your dreams. You have to realize you have to stick to the mandate. You have to realize you have to go to the gym and do everything that you need to do every day. You have to realize you have to do today what others will not, so you can do tomorrow what others cannot. You cannot do tomorrow what others cannot if you don't do today what others will not. So you have to get into the books. You have to study. You have to refine your mind. You have to sharpen your tool. You have to increase your skill set. You have to sharpen your communication skills. You have to realize what you're wanting to do in life, and you have to work on yourself today. You have to sit down just like Jonah did in the belly of a whale and say, hey, I am going to reach my destiny. I'm going to reach that point where I need to reach. I am going to go through what I'm going through, but I am going to come out victorious. Do not give an account to others what you are doing. Let what you're doing speak for itself. Work on you. Work on what you're doing. Do your work in silence, and that work will speak for itself. Build what you're building, and I promise you, in due time, all the naysayers will see the impact of what you're doing. You don't have to go and explain what you're doing to anybody. You don't have to explain life to anybody. You don't have to explain the dreams, the visions that you have inside of you. You just have to realize that at one point or another, you're going to be like Jonah in the whale, and you're going to have to sit there and you're going to have to work it. You may have to go it alone for a season, but then don't give up. Keep working on yourself and keep working on yourself every day. Remember, you are being placed you're being forged in the crucible of greatness. You're being refound in the crucible of greatness. You're being formed, you're being transformed. You see, you could look great on the outside, but the fundamental thing, this has to be stronger than anything else. You have to work on your mental fortitude. You have to work on your mental strength. You have to work on your mind. You have to renew your mind. By the renewing of your mind, you could move forward in strength. By the renewing of your mind, you could move forward in gratitude. By the renewing of your mind, you could move forward and knowing truly beyond a shadow of a doubt, I will succeed. I will be all that I can be. I will rise to the mountaintop. I will scale up the walls if I have to, but I'll get to the top and I'll be able to see where I'm going, because greater is He that is in me than he that is around me. I can do all things through my Creator, because He is the one who strengthened me. There's a Chinese bamboo tree. And the Chinese bamboo tree, if you get a Chinese bamboo seed and you plant it, what happened, you would find yourself, you'll be watering that seed, you will be taking care of that seed for a whole year, and nothing happens. Actually, for 5 long years, you'll be watering and taking care of that seed, and absolutely nothing happens. Nothing happens. You will see nothing. There wouldn't be any external evidence of something is occurring with that seed. Then all of a sudden, on the 5th year, for 6 weeks of that 5th year, that Chinese bamboo seed will sprout up, and it will sprout up, and it will literally grow up to 90 feet in 6 weeks. You see, what does it do all the time? The 5 years that you were nurturing, it was building its roots. It was building its foundation. It was building what it needed in order to go up. So as you go out there and as you're working on you, remember, you cannot bake a cake in 5 minutes. And because you cannot bake a cake in 5 minutes, everything is a process. So work on you. Don't worry about what anybody thinks. Everybody might want it right away, but if you bake a cake in 5 minutes, you can crank the heat up. But as you crank the heat up, the only thing what you're going to have is a burnt offering. Only thing you're going to have is this burnt black offering, and it won't have any flavor to it. But if you take time and you grow what you're growing, not only will what you're growing be rewarding to you, what you're growing will keep producing fruit. It will keep producing residual fruit. It will keep producing spring offsprings. It will keep producing for you, so then you can live on the residual. Then you could live and you could travel. You could buy what you want. You could do what you want to do. So that's why it's so important to do today what others will not, so you can do tomorrow what others cannot. So go out there and learn the power of refinement. Don't forget, hit the subscribe button below. Hit the subscribe button below. And when you hit the subscribe button, don't forget to select the bell, because by selecting the bell, it gives you a wonderful opportunity to be notified whenever I add a new video. God bless you.